Okay, so I'm sure we are pretty clear about this previous concept. Going ahead, and we will talk about few more components which I would like to create to develop some mini application which can help you to quickly connect with React in much more better way. Okay, we have already created three components. One is called main app, header and footer. Let's go back and create few more implementations here. So apart of header, I would like to create one more component here named called user action .js. Here we want to say users.js, also user.js, and another component here called add user.js. So these are some additional components we have created, and what these all components are doing, let's try to understand. See, along with this, whatever we have developed, I would like to add few more important things to this particular components, but let's go back and create some basic structure for those newly created components. So here, just like in main app.js and header and footer.js, I create user action and user action for users, this user, here we have, and this add user, so we have got these many components are ready. Now in this example, I would like to tell you about few important things. When you talk about React based applications, you might have seen every time when you make a small change in your file and when you save it, instantly the changes are deployed in your browser, because behind the scene React is using a kind of inbuilt server comes along with your create React app application. When you create a new project structure, this server comes inbuilt loaded with you. Now along with this server, there are some other tools on which your React is actually developed or dependent on. One which is known as called Webpack. Just to tell you, Webpack is basically known as called a build tool. It is a very popular build tool, also used in Angular applications too. This Webpack mainly responsible to build the application, okay, and bundle your application, build and bundle your application. So if you open up one website here, give the name called webpack.js.org, you're going to see this Webpack is a tool which takes a lot of you can say the smallest portion of your code, and later on it bundles together, okay, into the organized applications. So your application may be a part of bits and pieces. This portion which we are talking about here, it is primarily responsible to give you the idea of how your application get bundled, and sometimes the Webpack also comes with its own inbuilt server. Okay, it will take the support of that server to launch your application, and whatever portions you have built up, okay, using this Webpack, they will also get accommodated while the server is launching. So Webpack is one of the very popular tools. You can see here we have a call, write your code, bundle it, and it is very popular tool used by the industry leaders. So here in your code we have one tool named called Webpack, and also you write the JSX code. Okay, you write some very special syntax using ES6 because React uses ES6. Okay, so you do not need to learn any special language like in C, C++ or anything else. So you use ES6, which is the latest versions of JavaScript. It uses this ES6, the JSX code, which will get converted into the browser compatible JavaScript. The biggest challenge for the JavaScript developer is that the code what they develop it, okay, the code is not compatible enough to make sure that it will run perfectly across multiple browsers. So this JSX, okay, which get converted into the JavaScript through one very special tool named called Babel. So Babel is one of the very popular transpiler which transpile your code into JSX into what? To the browser compatible JavaScript, and internally it will be taken care by the Webpack. So Webpack and Babel are used internally by your Create React App tool, okay, to understand your application architecture, construct into the better, you can say, organized environment, and deploy it into your development environments sections where you have got servers, you have got files, you have a call, the JavaScript files and static resources. So this is done by your Webpack and Babel together. So if you open up, there is another tool named called Babel, babel.js.com. If you open it up, you see it is saying it is a JavaScript compiler. So you write your JavaScript code, it says generate a get browser compatible JavaScript out. So it is very simple and easy to implement it. Okay, so you do not need to write a code to test across whether it will work on this browser or not. So it's very simple. So here it happens behind the scene. You do not need to do anything, you do not need to configure it anything. It does happens behind the scene for us. So this is my component. This is where exactly your component architecture is. And now going ahead, once these components are set, here in user, I think, yeah, this is a user. Welcome to user. We have a call users. Okay, we say welcome to users. Now I want to make all the components whichever we have newly created except user, I'll make it as a child of main app. However, the user becomes a child of users here. How come? Here I go and inside this I use user, but it's not coming up. Let me check. It is a user, that's fine. Yeah, see, it's coming up. So user, I'm declaring it as my users, and rest of all components will be the part of my main application. So here we say user action. Let me check user action. Have I got correct name? Yes, exactly it is. It's coming up. User action. We say users. We also say add user. What is the name here? Add user, yes. So we also try to add those. So now you can see we have got user action, users, add user, and user is anyways a child of users here. Okay, so my application finally look like this, but I need to check the other components first. Okay, let me check here whether everything is set up. Okay, now you can see we have got other components also in place. So we have got lot many components, and according to the architectural diagram, if I just see, you get a better idea. Header and footer, we have it like this. Let me try to bring them both here. And this header is here, footer is here, like this. I create another component here called users, one more call user. This user is a child of users here. Okay, and we have called one more component with me that is called add user. Okay, and another component which you added it here called user action. Yeah, we have called user action. Here we have got user action. So that is the another component for me. and this user is a anyways child of this. So this is how my architecture initially looks like. So I'm sure that we are all clear about how a complex application will get divided into this smaller portion so that the user can understand and develop their application by their own dedicated scopes. Yeah. Well, going ahead, once it is ready, I would like to continue implementing rest of my portions. Now the next topic comes here is once the components are all set, we have got something very interesting coming up here that is known as called the React uh, props and the states. See everybody, when we talk about React based application, one important thing you need to understand is the data sharing. You are making the relationship between the parent and child reason because you would like to offer the data sharing, and the data sharing happens from the parent to child and vice versa. So in case if you expect some data to be received from the child, unlike Java, you never say extends keyword, you just declare the component, okay, into the other component, so automatically you becomes a parent and child relationship. Now important thing is, like, though you are in relationship, it's time to get the data from its parent. So how are you going to make it? For this, it is possible in React using the term name called props. So whenever parent pass the data to its child, child will receive the data through props, and it is a read only. Let's see how we can do that. In our main app, okay, so I just remove this welcome to main app. In my header, just imagine we have a message called welcome to header. This is a static message. I'm expecting this data to be passed by your parent. So I remove this value here. So I'm sure that you won't see welcome to header anymore. Here, yeah, you don't see welcome to header anymore. Okay, and this is because here I have removed it. Now from main app, I want to pass the data to my header component, so which is so called my child component. So what I will do is here in my header, okay, I'll just give one space. I say h data equal to, and I'm passing some value. What value? Say welcome to header. Very simple. H data is just a property name. You can give any name whatever you want, and this is the real value called welcome to header, and this value I'm passing it to header. So if header component, see, the values are still not available. In case if you want to get this data from its parent, which is the main component, so this value you have to retrieve with the name called h data. For that you will go to your header, and here you use the curly braces and say this dot props. This is a by default or predefined way of how to retrieve the value from its parent. This dot props dot h data, and remember this dot props is predefined, and this h data is the property what you are receiving it from your parent. And now if you see, the data is available to you. Isn't amazing how easy it is for you to retrieve the data from its parent and displaying it right over here? So parent is passing the data to its respective child, and child is receiving the value through where? Through this dot props dot h data. This is another way through which you can pass the data to your header using more better way. Like here I define const h, or you can say const h, or you can say data equal to, same value will be passing it. Okay, and this value I can use it like header data. So this also one of the very meaningful way to pass a data to its child, and when I see my outcome, it's still same. So I'm sure that you're clear. We can also pass the value from the parents, and so it is available to our child. It's a very simple and easy way. So same way, if I have to pass the data to our footer component, I can use this footer and say welcome to footer, and to my footer I can say f data equal to footer data, and in my footer I say this dot props dot f data, and you see the value is still visible. Even if I refresh, there will be no change. So we are pretty clear how we are basically passing the data from our parent to our child. In fact, that gives you more fine-grained control what data the child should carry rather than hard-coding the data. We can, however, pass the data from our parents, okay, and make it available. But these are all static data, okay. I can somehow pass what the dynamic data to, which I will show to you in our next examples.